Afternoon, everybody. Silverbolt here, back for a Transformers review. Sorry I haven't been around for the last couple of weeks, but pretty much since the start of the new year, it's been rather go for me at the moment. Between reformatting my computer and new job and other things happening, particularly this week, it's been rather tough, to say the least, to get a video in. So we're going to start now, but you know, I've got some free time, so I thought I'd do, as per the title page, obviously, Hardhead, Headmaster, Autobot Generation 1 toy. Now, Hardhead is a soldier, and he is pure soldier. There is nothing in him that is anything other than fighter. That's what he does, that's what he knows, that's all he wants to do, that's all he can do, really. And because of this, he's not what's called a thinker. He very much has... in many regards, like scattershot, just shoot it and worry about it at another time. And of course, being the melt mode that he is ably, well able to do that between his dual-wielding pistols and his shoulder cannon. Hardhead shows up in the Transformers Series 4 Headmasters, obviously, and he is the quiet one out of the group. However, he does have one thing going for him, in that when Blur starts doing Blur things, like 100 miles a minute, he's the only one that has the good sense to gag him, well, put his hand over his mouth anyway, to shut him up. Now, because of Hardhead's blunt, rather congenial attitude towards violence, he is well suited to his Headmaster companion, namely Duros. And it has been said that of all the Headmaster binary bonded companions throughout the Generation 1 series, Hardhead and Duros are the most like-minded of individuals. Because both of them love action, both of them think, who needs diplomacy when you've got a big gun? You know, they're very much like that, and that's pretty much all Hardhead and Duros do throughout the Generation 1 cartoon, in that you see Hardhead and Duros ripping apart the tentacles on the hive machines. And of all the Transformers in the... because of course the Japanese version of Headmasters carries on this story, Hardhead is pretty much nothing more than the blunt soldier. He has, to my recollection, very few notable appearances, apart from when he's singing karaoke because he's a little bit drunk. I didn't write it. It's my defence, which I've used before, and I will almost certainly use again, especially when it comes to the Japanese stuff. Now, Hardhead in the Transformers comics, mainly in the IDW universe, spends a lot of time with, at first, Hot Rod, when he is paired with Hot Rod by Optimus Prime being sent to Earth, and then later with Nightbeat. Now, this is when Hardhead and Nightbeat become a team, well, a duo almost. Nightbeat is very concerned that he is compromised by Decepticons. Nightbeat, of all the Headmasters, because I believe Nightbeat was one of the Japanese Headmasters, I could be wrong on that. Nightbeat is almost certainly one of the most prolific of all the Transformers, of all the Headmasters, sorry, especially in the comics. Not so much in the cartoon, but definitely in the comics. But Nightbeat's another one who I do intend to do a review of when I eventually get the toy. eBay to the rescue. But anyway, yes, that's neither here nor there. Nightbeat tells Hardhead that if ever I seem to be going like I'm out bad guys, please take care of me. As more than one hero is said in more than one film. When Nightbeat and Hardhead, I think it's Gaul and Prime, because Nightbeat and Hardhead is connected to the Dead Universe storyline, which is something completely different. But because Hardhead discovers the portal to the Dead Universe, and Nightbeat actually tries to kill Hardhead with a laser blast through the optics. Admittedly, he's not in control of himself at that time, but there we go. Hardhead lives up to his name, in the fact that, you know, anyone else who gets a laser blast between the eyeballs, well, between the optic sensors, would pretty much be out of it. No, Hardhead shrugs it off. You know, that you'd think that Nightbeat would be aware that the name might be a bit of a giveaway. Hardhead actually says it at one point. He says, "My name is Hardhead, that's all you need to know." So, there we go. However, Nightbeat's skull isn't quite as resilient as our hero of the hour here, and Hardhead's return shot basically just poof, and done and dusted. At this point, I should also point out, from what I can recall, neither Nightbeat or Hardhead are actually headmasters at this point. So, there we go. So that's pretty much it for Hardhead. He does show up quite a lot in the IDW spotlights as kind of a background grunt. To my knowledge, outside of the Generation 1, you know, it seems strange because in the cartoons, Hardhead is your background frontline soldier who doesn't do an awful lot. He certainly doesn't have. I mean, if you take the 4 Autobot headmasters from the Rebirth, the most prolific, to my mind, would be Brainstorm, Chrome Dome, Highbrow, and then Hardhead down at the bottom, despite the fact that Highbrow is, of course, paired with Gort, who is the leader of the Nebulons. But there we go. Now, on to the toy. Now, to my personal opinion, the alt mode of Hardhead is probably the nicest of all the headmasters. That's blinding. Is probably the nicest of... You can't really see that even better now. Yeah, there we go, that's a little better. Is probably the nicest of all the Headmaster toys in its alt mode. I mean, Chrome Dome's is very lackluster. Highbrow's is alright, and I still don't have Brainstorm. He is the only Headmaster I don't have, aside from the Horicons, which is Snapdragon and 8-Face, which I think are so friggin' hideous I can't be bothered to get them. Yeah, I've got all the others, including Spike. Oh no, sorry, I don't have Scorponok, and I don't have many of the second series of Headmasters, which is likes of Siren and Nightbeat. I don't have any of them. Apart from that, sorry, I have got Siren, who's got a really dinky little head. But anyway, there we go. So his alt mode, I think, is the nicest form that he can have. He obviously is a Cybertronian tank. He's an artillery tank. Obviously loaded for weaponry with 3 rather large cannons. And because, of course, that he is a later series Transformer in the form that he's actually rather simple to transform. Okay, Duros can sit inside Hardhead, and you just pull this up, and you have Duros here, which I'll get to in a minute. But transforming Hardhead, very, 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 very simple. Pull out the green guns. Don't try and pull off the big grey one, because it won't happen. Snap it up on its front. Pull down its legs. Pull out the feet. The hands just pull out of the bottom of the treads. Again, curse my lack of nails. And then finally, the cockpit slams down, and we have Hardhead in his rather gangly robot mode. I really shouldn't be doing a black and green toy when I'm wearing a black jumper. There we go. Lighting is one of the problems I really have, as everybody knows. Incidentally, I did actually try using a new video camera. Unfortunately, it just really wouldn't work. Either it was me playing with the settings wrong, or, which is, to be honest, most likely, or it just simply wasn't as good. I mean, this is the webcam I'm using. You know, it's not great, but you know, hell, I'm known for having bad quality videos. It's quite a good job, really. Do you really want to see this mug in high def? I don't. But yes, so that's him in robot mode, and then you of course have the head. Now I'll put my feet down for this one so I can get a little closer. Duros, in Headmaster format, looks like this. Hang on. That's a little better. Looks like that, and shares a rather thing in the fact that his headmaster companion looks absolutely nothing like his head. You know, there's the smallest possible resemblance of Hardhead's head in the cartoon to Hardhead's toy head. It's really quite strange for some strange reason. Honestly. But transforming him, remarkably simple, but at the same time really clever. You know, you just fold him out and you've got a really, like the other headmasters, a really high detail figure that is severely lacking. In the detail that's on the headmaster companion is severely lacking on the actual robot body, or, to give it its Japanese terminology, the transector. I believe I explained that in the headmaster's video, what the transectors are. Very quick recap. In the Japanese continuity, the headmasters are not nebulons or binary bonded companions. What they are is, this is Hardhead. This is a transector body. Works like a battle suit. But that's it, very blank, loosely. You know, the arms move on it, and the detail on the heads is really something for the robot mode. You then, of course, fold it up, you know, with the body of a gymnast, snick the head into place, and there we have him in robot mode. Now, of course, when you click the head in, depending on which headmaster companion you have, you get the little readout there which shows strength, intelligence and speed. And there we have, in all his glory, Hardhead in robot mode. His articulation is that. His arms. You know, his knees bend inwards. And that's about all it does. Now, the headmasters, despite being the last set of toys that were really released for the Generation 1, well, at least for the Generation 1 American series, for the Western Transformers G1, not including the Japanese Headmasters, Super God, Master Force, and Victory. They're some of the most expensive. The headmasters, for whatever reason, are the newest of the old toys. But they're some of the most expensive. I mean, Hardhead is a large toy because he's basically his alt mode is basically just flipped over on end, so he's quite large. I mean, he's definitely, to my knowledge, from what I can think, he's definitely taller than Chrome Dome, and he's certainly taller than Highbrow. But they are some of the most expensive. I mean, even on things like Kapow toys, and Andy, for anyone who wants to look at Transformer toys, definitely have a look at Kapow or Big D's Toy Chest, because they both have quite reasonably priced Transformers. Even there, they're still really expensive, because they are simply expensive toys. And aside from the heads, there's not an awful lot that can be said about them. You know, they're nice toys, but they're certainly nothing great. But the headmasters are some of my favourite toys nonetheless, despite the fact that they're absolutely ugly. Hardhead is pretty much the only toy to be called Hardhead, to my knowledge. However, I do know he has had a repaint in the Universe line, in that he was repainted from Decepticon Ultra Class? Onslaught. Yeah, he's an Ultra Class. I'm trying to think now. Yeah, he is an Ultra Class. He was repainted into Hardhead, but to be honest, the toy itself pretty much went unnoticed as a repaint. You know, of all repaints, the repaint of Onslaught, despite the fact that in the Universe line, Onslaught is really nice, it just seemed to pass everybody by. It really did. I can't think of anything else to say about this toy, so I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to upload this today, for the simple fact that, you know, I haven't put a video up in a while. But yes, for now, this is Silverbolt signing off, with Hardhead and Duros signing off, saying au revoir, adios, auf Wiedersehen.